Hello, my Shadey Mateys. It's Cameron here, and I have 2 more journals for you before spooky season is over, so I'm so excited that I got these done in time. Phew! And that I have them here to share with you today. They have a wonderful kind of natural history, apothecary, old pharmaceutical, specimen collecting, kind of curiosity shop vibe, which I totally love. And it was mostly inspired by this fabric with these vintage looking apothecary labels. Love it. Lots of spiders, creepy crawlies, bugs, skeletons, bones, all that good stuff. There are 2, and as you can see, they have different covers. All I did was superimpose them. So this one has this fabric underneath in the spine, and vice versa. This one has this fabric underneath on the spine here, which you'll see. So let's go ahead and flip through these. They're both in the shop now. As usual, they'll say sold below if they are both gone, but they're available now at lotusandnightshade.com. I appreciate you being here. It really, really is important to me. It means so much to have you here, so thank you again. And let's go ahead and get started. We'll start with this one. We have some danglies here, a little label that's been aged and stamped. This one's double-sided. And there's 2 pockets on the front. I had forgot to leave space under this to put the ribbon under, which is what I usually like to do, like I remembered for this one, so that the pockets are unobscured. So I'm so sorry about that, but I made sure that I stamped and splattered this ribbon so it goes with the aesthetic. So hopefully that makes up for it. Alrighty, so when we open her up here, this particular tag, I used a vintage dictionary that was illustrated and took a lot of the pages that had different bugs and bones and whatnot, and I sprayed the pages and used them on a lot of the pages and the tags here, and it gives it that wonderful kind of old science collector's kind of feel. So we have 2 pockets here in the center, or I mean in the beginning. I'm not going to talk through the whole thing, but I do have to mention that my friend Tahirah from Pure Word Creations, I'll tag her below, she experimented with rust dyeing, and she made the most beautiful rust dyed papers. She sent me some, and there are some in here I shared with you, so they give it that perfect grungy, worn look, and I am so excited. I'll show you when those arrive. There's this big tag here, which I thought would be good for a dashboard so you can write up against it, so that's why it's kind of plain, and just made with a large collaged board that I used to cut up for different purposes. Tried to put a variety of things in here for you to use, like folded tags and whatnot, but this is one of those library cards that you can peel off and stick wherever you want. And here's one of those dictionary images, some stamping, some old page here. And if I didn't back the pages that I used, this is still cardstock, but it's a light cardstock, I still tried to do something with the back so it wasn't just plain white. And here we have a tea-stained giant index card. Did some embossing, some splattering, and just punch some holes there for interest. So we have tea-stained pages, like I said, printed pages. We have some fun little elements added here. Here's another library pocket, another illustrated dictionary page. Here's a hidden paperclip tab. There's a nice, I like those. And I just wanted that kind of worn, study kind of feel. Oh, here's another illustrated page with some collaging and sewing. Some dyed and splattered muslin. Here's some of that rust dyed paper. Isn't it gorgeous? So in love with it. And you'll see she sent me some index cards too, and some fun bits and bobs that I did use in here. There's the other side of that. It's a tuck spot, but it actually is open, so you could use it like a belly band if you wanted to. some of the threads that were left over from the fabrics that I used. This is like a teacher's agenda sheet where they had a calendar to plan. I just liked the look of that a lot. Look at the vertebra. Love it. Here is a rust-dyed index card. Isn't it great? I just left it so that it wasn't as covered as much because you want to really appreciate all those beautiful patterns. We just have a nice embossed buggy and a little torn file folder or filed tab there. Okay. There's the middle, there's the fabric there. And these were just an office supply that I found at a thrift store. These little paper tabs just slide in and out so you could change it if you wanted to. But I love that it gave it that kind of museum kind of look. Here's another index card. And a little scrappy pad here. This is rust-dyed paper too with the lighter texture. Look how pretty. Just clip some things in there you might like to use. Here is a full sheet of rust-dyed paper, and I gave you the whole thing, so I just folded it on either side. I added some of those tabs. There's a tuck spot. This is the business card of a really cool shop in Salem, Massachusetts when we were there last summer, so I included it here because it had that kind of same oddities feel that I like. Here's some little tickets that are in here. This is a tea-stained envelope. You have two halves, and I made a little, I don't know what type of specimen envelope out of it. There's nothing inside this, so each side is empty for you to put your own things in. And this just goes around like so. Now I did add some paper tabs as well, and these are attached, so these aren't like the hidden paper clips, but they just stick up and add some interest. This tea-stained line paper, another cluster. This one's for veins, so it shows leaf veins and wing veins. I left the threads all nice and messy. I love that. Here's the other side. Again, it just opens up. There's nothing in here right now. And the other side of the rust-dyed paper. Another tab. I love the crinkle and the pattern, so pretty. This is napkin that was decoupaged onto old music paper. I just tore it up and put it on here. It just has this great texture to it. And then I sewed these around to make these little pocket envelopes of this crinkly tea-stained vellum, I guess it is. It's really cool. And there's just a couple things in there. And here's the back pocket. And one last giant tea-stained index card. The foiled bat inner paper. Okay. Alrighty. This one is not two-sided. Got this from my friend Jessica. Thank you, Jessica. So this has little bats embossed on it. Goes right in there. This one has a pretty moth. And like I said, I did remember to leave it open under this. But you can change this ribbon out if you want. It just helps it stay in place, which is nice. But I put it low when I tied it because I didn't want to cover up the face of the cute little bat. So we go inside here. This one, it got a little bit more of maybe a natural history vibe with more florals in there, here and there. But I liked mixing all the things I used. Plus, I had a whole container of labels that I had never used before, so it was nice to be able to use those up. Here's an index card that's been tea stained and dyed, embossed with one of these taggies. And a dashboard tag here too. This is rust stained from Tahirah. And library pocket. Oh yes, this one has book pages in it. So if you don't like spiders, you won't like this book. I mean, there's spiders in both, but the pages, the book pages, feature spiders pretty prevalently. So, and this has kind of a snakeskin texture on it, which is really nice. Feels good. And here's the scrap pad in this one. I went through with scissors and aged all the edges and inked them up. Oh, here's some rust-dyed graph. Not graph, what is this called? Ledger paper. Ledger paper is what it's called. And she got some really good rust in there. I just love that. Here's the lesson plan page. This is an attached paper tab. Human shoulder blades. And a rust-dyed index card here. Now, rather than that envelope that was in the last one, I made this for this book, and it's basically the bottom of a paper bag that Tahirah sent me. Oops. I can get this untied. Untie, please. There we go. So it just folds out like this. And there's a tuck spot here with tickets. And then each one of these is tuck spots too. And the nice thing about that is, if you stand it up, you can open this up and you can put something longer in there, and as long as you don't mind it being folded. So I just thought that was fun. And then tie it back up. There we go. Tied back up. This I didn't get very rusty, but that's okay. Still very cool. I like it a lot. This is like a handmade paper. Little tuck spot. Here's another book page. Isn't this great? I've been saving this for a special book, and it made it into this one because it was just perfect. Here's a hidden paperclip tab, so you can move that around the book if you like. It's holding this library pocket. Again, that's self-adhesive. I'm going to keep repeating that because I don't know why. And I attached this handmade paper with the gold to the pages so that they would be able to be bound into the book. So that's what that is. See, another page of this rust-dyed paper. Each book has one. Actually, two. Here's a tuck spot here. This one is not a belly band because that's why it's up against the spine area. There's some goodies. Paper clipped in. Center. Tadpoles. Another non-movable tab. This folds down. See, lots of spiders, but so pretty. I love that there's the web here, and it shows how they make them. I tried to keep as much as I could without it sticking too far out of the book, so it does stick out a little bit, but I didn't want to cut off too much more and lose too much more of that, so that's why that is as big as it is. There's an itty bitty little teeny clipping on this tag. Another cluster. And here's one of those sewn envelopes. Same stuff in there. And one of these too. And then we have the back pocket. Right here. Those big index cards. Okay, so that is these two journals. I have my label on the back of each one. I hope you like them. I really enjoyed making these. They have that kind of spooky feel, but they're really kind of an all year round book in my opinion. So they're in the shop. Thank you again for being here. Have a great rest of your spooky season, and I'll see you soon.